All right, these are 5 legit skills that can make nearly anyone money fast. Beginner, expert, doesn't matter the niche, doesn't matter the vertical. No, it's literally all irrelevant. These are 5 genuine things that I have slowly over my business journey started to get really, really good at. When you combine them all, that's a whole other story. We'll talk more about that towards the end. But trust me on this. Trust me that these are some of the best skills to learn if you want to start making a crap ton of money relatively quickly. I'm just going to dive into the first one. Learning to spot a blue ocean market and product market fit. Those two things combined are just a stupid way to make a ton of money. Think of the guy who started a web dev agency back in the early to mid 2000s, right? Nobody had a website. Nobody had to learn how to make a website. No one had that, or even an ads agency for that matter. You could have been completely average 5 out of 10 developer, but absolutely crushed it revenue wise just because you spotted the trend. You saw the market opportunities early and being like, this is actually a skill in and of itself. Being able to realize that a lot of these businesses don't have websites. What do websites mean? It means you're getting connected to the internet, makes you look more professional, gets you better leads. Nobody knows how to do this stuff. Let's go sell this solution. I know guys who made tens of millions of dollars doing with such a crappy website of themselves and even on their own, but they just knew how to market themselves. And Hormozi has a very great but funny quote where he says, you could be a very average hot dog seller, but if you're in a stand outside of the baseball stadium on the 9th inning, you're going to absolutely crush when that thing is over because people are starving. That is the starving crowd, right? So just if you're waiting and there's not enough competitors around, that's actually a good thing to keep up with the demand. Think of like drop shipping 2016, 2017. Whoever spotted that trend early has made tens of millions of dollars now. I'm not saying it's impossible to succeed in right now, but it is 100% a lot more difficult, right? So how do you do this? Look for problems people complain about, but no one's actually solving. These are like gold mines waiting to happen. And this is where you can study trends. And I know AI is a huge one right now, in my opinion. That's probably what the blue ocean play is right now, something with AI. So then you plug that in to underserved niches with popular markets instead of like just general fitness, for example. I've talked about this before. Focus on fitness for new moms or seniors, right? Use tools like Google Trends. That is the best free tool that I use on a weekly basis, or like very niche communities. You can search up specific keywords, guys, that people are like complaining about and having issues with. If the search traffic is up, think about what that can mean on a business side, right? So that's the first one. Number 2, sales video copywriting. Master the problem, solution formula, identify a person's pain, make it hurt even more, and then present your solution. This is what's called a VSL, video sales letter. Just type that in on YouTube. There are some great creators, people who have made tens of millions of dollars with a very simple VSL. Teach you how to write this. This is essentially selling through words, right? If you learn how to write headlines that stop the scroll, you're using curiosity gaps and very specific benefits. This is very psychological, right? So things like scarcity, social proof, FOMO, these are all how to very particularly, close a customer through video. Becker did this extremely well too. So it's almost like feeling very conversational, not salesy or not pushy. And the best way to learn these is just study pre-existing VSLs in your niche and model their structure. If you don't have a niche, like I said earlier, that's fine, right? Just think of something that you want to get into. If you already have an interest in fitness, I would recommend go study some fitness VSLs. Go study Brandon Carter VSLs. If you're interested, cars, go study car VSLs if there are any out there. I know there should be. I'm telling you, a good sales video can convert 10 to 20 times better than just a basic one, than just some bozo one. And that's the difference between $1,000 and $20,000 from the same traffic. So point 3, ability to close, specifically on the phone if you can. Learn to listen more than you talk, right? Prospects will tell you exactly how to sell to them. They're going to give you all the ammo that you need. This is sales and psychology 101. From there, you're going to be able to master the objection handling. Oh, your price is too expensive. I got to speak with my wife or husband. That's the whole thing. People say no 3 to 5 times before buying on average. That's no BS. So you can develop your sales process around that. You can have something repeatable, right? Successful closers, they all follow scripts, at least for some structure. They don't just wing it until you get better, until you get your reps in, right? So how I would do this, you're only going to learn by doing. So practice building rapport quickly. People really do buy from those who they like and trust. Learn to create urgency without being like weirdly pushy. Have genuine scarcity versus like some fake deadlines or some fake price raise or something. Like actually be legit about it, right? Don't just trying to push scarcity for no reason. And I just personally, again, I'm a big believer, even though it may seem old school, phone closing can like 8 to 10x your conversion rates compared to just, written sales pages or DMs or emails. Like that, you're going to be able to hear so much more tone and just the structure of the conversation by getting them on a phone call versus not. So this is personally my favorite one. This is where I have the most experience in. The next point is the one that I'm actually working on. But sales, guys, if you learn how to sell, I've said this a million times over, you will never go broke. There is actually, in my opinion, a scarcity. There is a very low limit of good salespeople right now. Companies are just juicing and foaming at the mouth for good closers. So if you can learn how to do this, dude, there's so many remote websites that you can get on right now and find solid sales jobs. You just need to know where to look. Like I said earlier, fourth point, Facebook and Google Ads. This is one that I'm currently learning right now in real time for my own business. So I'm personally starting with Facebook because it's a lot easier to audience target. You can target based on interests, behaviors, demographics. I know they're always changing this kind of stuff, but it's also cheaper CPLs. So I'm able to test rather quickly. Google Ads is much more high intent. You're having very high intent traffic. People are actively searching for whatever you're selling. Point is, guys, if you learn both of these, the lifeblood of a business is leads. What does ads get you? More leads, more customers, more sales. Like if you learn this in any niche, it doesn't matter. You're going to be able to charge a lot. It's typically like a percentage of ad spend, base retainer, sometimes a both. It's like you need to test a lot. That's what I've heard a lot. That's what I've learned a lot is you need to test, 10 different ad creatives versus one, and you need to find your winner. You need to find the one that you can dump a ton of money into. It is literally as simple as $1 in gets you 3 to 4 back, 5 back. You guys probably already know this term, but ROAS, return on ad spend, these are terms and things that you have to learn. So you need to track your numbers, very religiously, your cost per click, your conversion rates, your LTVs, all this kind of stuff. This is very basic. And then what I've seen is 80% of the profits come back from 20% of the campaigns. Most ads will lose money, but you're just going to, like I said, find that one damn winner that could set your whole business up to crush, or in this case, your client's business to crush, which what that means is they're going to keep you retained. They're going to need you. They're going to realize that you are a necessity. You are helping them make more money, which then they're going to pay you a very juicy amount for that. So I would just start with a very small budget. If you want to test this firsthand, start with 10, 20 bucks a day, 50 bucks a day, and then scale what works rather than being, big up front, 200 bucks a day on one ad set. You got to diversify. You got to find what's working best. It's what I'm seeing work best right now firsthand. And it's just something super, super important. The fifth, I would argue the most important if you want to scale any business. All 4 of these past ones are great short-term, one-man shows. If you want to do something, this is what made me the most money in my entire career, period. No questions asked. That was delegation and hiring. Okay. You need to really start with the basics. I started with virtual assistants for like $4 or $5 an hour for very basic tasks before hiring expensive specialists. So platforms like Upwork, Fiverr, I personally found mine on onlinejobs.ph, found really reliable talent overseas, saving me a ton of money. They were living really well on the salary that I was paying them. And it was awesome. And how I actually taught them was like, hey, this is X, Y, and Z. We screen shared, they shadowed, I documented every process in my business so others can just kind of replicate it. And that's exactly what I did. If you learn how to do this well, there's so many cross skills within this too. You're learning how to lead people. You're learning how to buy into your vision, how you're not just a one-man show anymore. You have an army of people working for your mission and your business. That's the best part about this, right? So you need to test assignments to filter out like poor people, because you're going to get just poor performers, people that aren't really good candidates. You want to filter that out immediately. I use Google Docs and some simple forms to do that. Create very, very clear job descriptions and then systems that, again, eventually allowed you to work on your business rather than in it, right? So the goal is really to make yourself just completely irreplaceable, right? You want to be able to remove yourself in daily operations so you can focus on growth, sales, strategy, all that kind of stuff. And so many entrepreneurs, when they get these 4 skills previous, they get stuck on this one because they don't know how to delegate. And this is usually the biggest barrier to scale, in my opinion. So think, I just want to end this off. If you can combine all of these, you become a weapon. This is the blueprint to being able to print your first few $1 million. This is, again, it is very different from 10 mil or more. That's a different story. But if you're a beginner, that doesn't matter anyways. This is where like you can crush it. I don't need you to build the next damn freaking Tesla, right? You need a cash flow business. You need something where you are simply selling your time in the beginning, which I have a video coming out on in a little bit, and then learning to fulfill that, right? If you have a client paying you $3,000 a month, and then you have a VA or someone handling that fulfillment for $1,000 a month, right? Think of the math. Think of the difference. After taxes and some fees and whatnot, you're just collecting that middle ground. You do that 10, 30, 40 times over per client, right? 10, 20, 30 clients. Think of the math on that. That's why I'm such a huge fan of the agency space. That's why I think all these skills are so damn important, and anyone can learn these starting tomorrow. So as always, if you made it this far, I want to see you in. Thank you for your time. Leave a comment if you have any questions. We'll see you in the next one.